Tony poured rice into a foot basin, but he never expected that overnight the rice turned into golden spiritual grain. Curious, he grabbed a handful and tossed it into his mouth. To his surprise, after eating it, his cultivation instantly advanced by one level. It turned out that the old foot basin was actually a treasure. Tony had low cultivation to begin with, and could only do chores like chopping wood and carrying water every day. One day while fetching water by the river, he accidentally knocked over the bucket. As he bent down to pick it up, he saw a rusty iron basin in the water. Tony felt a sudden impulse. Could this be a gift from the heavens? But after looking at it for a while, he found it completely ordinary. Just as he was about to throw it away, the next second, the iron basin suddenly flew into his body. Tony was sure this basin was no ordinary item, so he took it back to his shabby hut. It happened to be grain distribution day. Tony could get 10 pounds of rice each month, but the steward always took half, claiming it was a management fee. Looking at the meager amount of rice, Tony couldn't help but lament his misfortune. He had once stepped into cultivation full of dreams, but 2 years later, he was still just a chore disciple, living in a crude thatched hut every day, unable to even afford a container for rice. With no other choice, Tony summoned the iron basin he had just found to use temporarily as a rice bin. After a long day of work, Tony was exhausted, so he shoved the basin under the bed and fell fast asleep. But as he slept deeply, the basin under the bed began to emit a faint golden glow. By the next morning, as Tony stretched and got up, he noticed a rich fragrance of rice in the air. He pulled out the basin from under the bed and was stunned. The rice from last night had all turned into radiant top-grade spiritual grain. At that moment he finally realized he had picked up a treasure basin. Not only could it turn ordinary rice into spiritual grain, but the amount had even doubled. Fortunately, the basin seemed to have recognized him as its master, and could be stored inside his body for use at any time. Otherwise, if someone else discovered it, his life would surely be in danger. During his lunch break, he summoned the treasure basin again. Looking at the full basin of golden rice, he felt conflicted. If he cooked and ate it, the aroma would surely draw suspicion from his fellow disciples, and the secret of the basin would be exposed. After thinking it through, he decided to try eating it raw, but just after taking a bite, his whole body began to glow blue. Within moments, a surge of powerful energy burst from within, and his cultivation broke through another level. The next day, while digging for herbs in the forest, he looked at the pile of ordinary low-grade medicinal plants, and suddenly had a bold idea. He quickly summoned the treasure basin, and threw all the herbs into it. Sure enough, another burst of golden light erupted, and this time the result was even better than before. He immediately absorbed all the spiritual energy from the herbs. In just half a day, he rose 2 more levels. Others spend years to reach level 4. He did it in a single day. Tony's cultivation speed was downright terrifying. Later, Tony returned home carrying water. Just as he stepped through the door, 2 senior sisters stopped him. Turns out the mountain spring had recently turned murky, and the sect sent people to investigate the source. Tony's heart sank when he heard this. He had also noticed the decline in water quality, and as the one who fetched water, he was the easiest target of suspicion. The 2 senior sisters didn't even give him a chance to explain, and directly accused him of polluting the source. Tony's face darkened, but he could only endure it in silence. In this world where the strong